It currently is 12:03 on Monday, December 28th. I'd like to call a special work session for the Port of Newport to order. Public comment. I do not believe we have seen any public comments on this.
I haven't received any.
Okay, and then so the conversation revolves around the estimates that we received for Port Dock 5 pier construction, and I'll let you put a few minutes in on that, Paula, please.
Yeah, as you know, we have been working on this for quite some time, in which we received an EDA grant for a project to $2.4 million, in which the port is responsible for 50%. We have been working with EDA, and we also hire project manager and try to put a fair amount of work behind this in order to get an RFP out, which we did. And we got bids in on the 17th. As we evaluated, we made a selection based on that. And I'm gonna let Aaron put out the details. As a matter of fact, he has been the one behind all of this and has done a real great job going through the work with DDA, as well as working on the selection of the contractor. So Aaron, you're on.
Thanks, Paula. So the main thing with this this selection here is that this is we put out an RFQ. So the selection criteria is that we go with the lowest responsible and responsive bidder on this. It's a little bit different than putting out a request for proposals. We ask for quotes, and we basically give them a lot more detail on what we want, and they provide us with what they think it's going to cost for them to do that. So we open the bids on the 17th of December at 11. We intend to complete this construction project this fiscal year. But you know, obviously we're on a very tight timeline with this. We need to have the in-water work done by February 14th. And so the most difficult aspect probably at this point in time is staying on schedule and getting things done quickly. But in any case, so we budgeted for $2.4 million in the capital outlay to rebuild a Port Dock 5 pier. That includes $1.2 million in grant revenue or just about $1.2 million for grant revenue from the Economic Development Administration. All the bids that we received came from responsible bidders and were all responsive to the criteria that we put out in the RFQ. And so I would recommend a motion to accept the attached the construction bids that are in the meeting packet material, and I recommend that we go forward with a resolution authorizing the GM to negotiate the contract with Advanced American Construction in the amount not to exceed $2,102,208 plus a 10% contingency for the construction of the Port Dock 5 pier. And that's is pretty straightforward. Most of the information was already there, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
And if I may just add real quick, the reason we're adding the 10% contingency in this particular case is because we already in a short amount of time available here to get this completed. We just don't want to be in the middle of the work and realize something needs to be added because we were faced with some issue. And then we had to go through another meeting to get that accomplished. This still put us below the $2.4 million, and hopefully we won't touch this 10% contingency. But I just want to make sure that, you know, we don't lose any more precious time at this point, having to redo all of this. So thank you.
Okay, questions from the commission or comments?
Yeah, I have a couple. Kelly, if you want to go, doesn't matter to me.
You on mute.
Unmuted.
Unmuted. Am I muted?
You're good.
Am I good?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm thrilled that we had so many people bid on this or give us quotes on this. I did have one question about, because I noticed where let me put my glasses back on. Advanced American Construction was a little low on the temporary features and appurtenances. Is that gonna cause any problems going down the road, or, I mean, because they were quite a bit lower.
Well, and so this is where it's important to understand the method here. In the project specifications, which are part of the bid documents, it says what they're required to deliver. So we've already told them what they have to deliver. It's sort of a, they have estimated their cost to be what they've said there. So the risk of us getting what we're asking for is not really there. I mean, we're going to get what we've asked for. They bear the risk on projecting their costs. So if they run short on cost, they can't say, "Oh, we're not gonna deliver what you specified." We've specified what we're looking for, and they have to deliver that.
Okay. So that was one of my questions. Go ahead, Walter.
Okay. Thanks, Kelly.
Okay. So I see that they're the only ones that didn't charge or don't have a second mobilization. Is that saying that they will or will try to do it this in-water work window?
Yes, but I clarified with them, and I have it currently. Well, still need to send a draft contract documents to them. You could look at that as we requested that they provide us with an alternate one, which was mobilization costs for the second mobilizations, and their bid for that mobilization was zero. It's not that they declined to bid on that. They projected zero for the cost of mobilization to the port on the second mobilization. So again, I think this is them. They're confident they can avoid that cost to them, but they can't pass it through to us because they were asked to provide with the cost for that second mobilization if it was possible or if it was required.
So are they expecting us to be able to get an extension if need be?
We're going to try and get that extension. They have asked us to get that. I mean, it's all, yeah, we're going to try and get that extension. Whether or not we get it, there's enough room in the specifications or in the contract for us to delay the mobilization until the next in-water work period if we have to. But I talked with them. We had a meeting with them last week, and they understood. I communicated all this just as it is to them, and they understood what we're up against on the extension request.
Okay. I do have another question, but I want to take up all the time if Kelly has one or Jim.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You're up. I'll go after you, Walter.
Okay. You answered the contingency. When are they able to start this project if they get it?
So they would be able. Well, the start. When you say start, do you mean when would they get the notice to proceed, or when they would start mobilization, or are you talking about just when they start the actual contract?
Once we give them the notice to proceed, when can they be down here?
So they were talking about mobilizing the first week of January.
Okay. Okay, and then my last one would be, is everything lined up with EDA to start when they're ready to start?
Yeah, we're good with the EDA.
Okay. Thanks. That was it. I appreciate
All right.
the information.
Thanks, Walter. You pretty much touched on the same exact questions I had, so I don't need to repeat them. Seems like a very competent company. Anyone want to make a motion at this time?
Jim, let me just clarify. I don't know if we made it clear in the beginning of the meeting that we only have 3 commissioners present.
Oh, correct.
So we're missing Commissioner Jeff Lackey and Commissioner Gil Sylvia today. So just want to make it clear for the record.
And if when we do vote on it, it needs to be a 3-0.
It does, yes.
There's my secretarial duty taken care of.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification, Walter.
Yep.
Well, we have a quorum, but we need a 3-0. So anyone like to make a motion?
Sure. I move that we adopt resolution 2020-19 authorizing the Port of Newport to enter into a contract with Advanced American Construction for the reconstruction of Port Dock 5 Pier, not to exceed $2,102,280 with a 10% contingency.
I second it.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
And for the record, also, we received an email from Commissioner Jeff Lucky. Even though he was unable to attend the meeting, he also wished to express that he would approve of this project. So,
Perfect. Thank you, Aaron. Good job.
well, thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Thanks.
So I
Thank
have
you. It's great.
a comment. What do we need? How do we go forward with start getting the ball rolling on a possible extension? Should we start reaching out to our federal and state people?
Yeah, our plan was, so once I can get, after this meeting, I can go back to them. They're ready to give us a schedule right now. So my next, we need to put out some communication emails so that the fishermen know what's going on.
Yeah.
But we, as soon as I can, we'll get a schedule from them. Once we have it scheduled, then we can go to the permitting agency, say, hey, look, this is what we're looking for. We request an extension, and we should be able to have that paperwork on file almost immediately. So that's the plan. And Dow is going to be working that permitting issue with them, with the agencies immediately. So we should be ready to get going on it right now.
Okay, the state would be a big hurdling right now. They're not meeting very often. Getting hold of Dick Anderson and David Gomberg, and I know Kelly, maybe we could reach out to the fishermen's wives and have them get on board and get a letter of support and maybe in midwater trawlers and start the ball rolling, that this is important to the port to get this done, and that extension would mean take a lot of undue burden away from the fishing community, especially during if it happened next year during ramp up for crab season.
And just so you know, we kind of just wanted to respect ODFW requests that we first provide them a schedule, and it's hard to provide a schedule without a contract. So obviously gonna take another day or so for us to get a contract going with Advanced American. Once we get that going and then get a schedule, that's when we're intending to do that. Reach out to, any legislator to, be on board on getting this extension done, and respect ODFWs, and not get ahead before we even have a schedule. So.
Well, please let us know how the commission can help further.
And I appreciate, you wanting to reach out, and, obviously we all want that to happen during this season. So.
This will be a great win if we can get this done.
Yeah, it will be.
Do you want to close the meeting, Jim?
Yep. At this point, I'd like to close our special work session. It is 12:17 on the 28th for the Port of Newport. Thank you.